This game is in Cleveland. The game time weather expected to be 40 degrees and rainy. Really unpleasant.
Love
but
it.
we'll see who
Sounds
that
about
actually
right.
I know, it sounds like Cleveland. You guys know that well. All right, if you think this could be a walk in the park for Pittsburgh, though, the Steelers have really struggled on the road against the Browns lately. Pittsburgh just 1-4-1 in their last 6 games in Cleveland. Their -9 turnover margin, the 4th worst of any head-to-head matchup in the league since 2018. Seems like it could be a trap game for Pittsburgh, but cornerback Dante Jackson was asked about that.
What's a trap game? What that mean? I played in Carolina, bro, for a long time. I'm not familiar with trap games.
I love that answer. Okay, Hawk. All right, so he didn't know what a trap game is,
Yeah.
but could this be a trap game for the Steelers?
I mean, it has the makings of a trap game, but I mean, this is a Mike Tomlin coach football team.
Right.
If there's one coach or organization or locker room that's led by Tomlin that I trust not to be subjected to a trap game, this is the team. They play well, they play hard in every scenario, every quarter, every place. The record doesn't look good in Cleveland, but at the same time, what you have to rest on is a coach and their culture, and the Steelers' culture is not that.
Yeah, J-Mac, the Steelers pulled out a win against the Ravens with 6 field goals. Are you concerned about their approach in the red zone?
Yeah, they've struggled, and it wasn't just that Ravens game. They've struggled with Russ in the lineup a little bit since he's been there, and Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, he's a guy that wants to run through the red zone, but when you can't, this is when they've been successful. When Russ has seen man coverage, he's been able to go to a form of a pick play down the bottom and hit guys where as soon as the ball is getting in his hands, he's getting out quick. When he sees zone coverage here, he's holding on to the football when you have to make a quick decision down here because every zone is covered. You don't have the time to kind of roll out and try to make plays with your feet as you do in the field. And we've seen where he's thrown it up to George Pickens on the outside. The closer you get, you take those chances. But those are low percentage throws. Now you have to figure out a way to get into that end zone and do different things. We saw Justin Fields come in the game this past week. That possibly could be something they do.
Yeah, you just gave the blueprint, of how to play this offense in the red zone. This is where I am. This defense in Pittsburgh can win a Super Bowl. This offense cannot. Right now, Russell Wilson's the worst red zone quarterback in the NFL. I'll let that set in. That's not an assumption. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. His QBR in the red zone is an 8. That's out of 100. The red zone performance is not good enough. And J-Mac just talked about it, man versus zone. There's been moments, when a defense, I think, silly in many ways, just plays single high coverage and gives them the chance to throw the ball to Pickens one-on-one. But if you don't, this offense in Russell Wilson is going to struggle versus what you're going to show them. You can get all the yards you want, 20-20. To win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to be better in the red zone. And I think the point of Justin Fields is different. The other thing that has crept up, the sacks. The last 3 weeks, Russell Wilson's taken 11 sacks. That is second most in the NFL, or tied for 5th most in the NFL since week 8. So, you're talking about the concerns that were kind of heading into the situation.
Starting to show up.
Hawk, I feel like when we think about George Pickens, it's just like you can kind of throw anything his way, and a 50-50 ball isn't really 50-50. It's like 80-20 his direction. But are you seeing that in the red zone?
For sure. And I think the thing about George Pickens, because everyone knows he's an unconventional athlete. When you watch him, he's gone viral. It's like he does a lot of crazy things on the field, which even as NFL players, we don't see very often. He does so many things special, but where he really excels is playing the ball in the air.
Right.
And what I mean by that is a DB, and J-Mac knows it, you're going to be locked eyes on a receiver and how he is positioning his arms, the timing where his eyes are going to determine how you play it.
See,
here's a video of Denzel Ward having a great play on the ball without looking back on Higgins. That's going to be paramount. And I know you have a question here, but with George Pickens, the reason why it's so special, and I'm trying to get people to understand this, if a ball is falling over my shoulder, okay, and I'm looking and my hands go here, right, just by where I'm going in trajectory, J-Mac will see and chop the arms, right?
Play the hands.
Get the hands where the ball is coming, time it out. The reason why George Pickens is so special at the point of attack, contested catches, is because instead of running and doing this, George Pickens will stop, play it here, and then at the last second, jump back with one hand, jump back with two, and where the ball landing point is versus where his body positioning is, it's impossible for a DB to dictate because it's so unconventional.
I don't think it'll be an issue tomorrow night. He's going to see a ton of single high versus Cleveland. They want to play a ton of man. I think the two things, again, taking away from the Baltimore game, remember, Russ struggling in the red zone, the sacks have started to show up. All they did was play off of George in the red zone, and that took away the one
up
Yeah.
there.
played off
Made
of
the play.
him. And the second thing is when Arthur Smith moved him into the slot, they basically doubled him. So if you're Pittsburgh, you're going to have to figure something else out offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what the answer is. You think maybe tomorrow night's not the time they need to worry about it
You're going
too
to see
much.
a ton of single high coverage tomorrow night if you're the Steelers.